lightning.
I mean Arc Lightning, sorry, not Arc Trail. Yeah, a red and 2, sorcery, Flames of the Firebrand deals 3 damage divided as you choose among 1, 2, or 3 target creatures and/or players. Sorry, I jump forward, I start reading, and then I just, like, divided as you, I'm reading the flavor text in my brain. Whoa, I better back up.
So we're going to do a little Rug Delver action.
These guys are in game 2. Not sure who won game 1, but we'll find out momentarily. We've seen, I think, was this the mirror that we saw earlier? I know I saw Eric Rill in a Delver mirror. I don't know if his opponent was Kurt Crane though, but I could be wrong. It could have very well been Kurt Crane.
I think that was when I was during my break while you and Brad had taken over.
I'm almost positive this is the.
This is a mirror match it again.
A match that was played out earlier when Brad and I were doing the coverage, and
okay.
I think Eric won that one.
Okay.
Eric is up a game here.
Eric is up a game right now, and taking a look at Eric's deck list, I mean, this is very standard Rug Delver. You're not going to find any surprises here outside of a main deck scavenging ooze. He's got his dazes, his brainstorms, his bolts, and his force wills, and all that good stuff. What you will find in the sideboard is a little bit different, though, because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11 1-0s. Let's see, and for the mirror, I mean, we're looking at a Pyroblast, potentially a Life from the Loam. Kitchen Finks is fairly good in the mirror. 1 Submerge as well.
Jeremy's trying to tell them they can start, but
you're also going to find a Mind Harness, a card that doesn't see a ton of play.
Yeah, that was one that. See, that's definitely one of the players that was in.
And you're also going to find 2 Red Elemental Blasts as well. So I'm a little, I guess, only 1 Submerge is a bit of a surprise to me, where if you look at Kurt's deck list, you're going to find 4 Submerges on the board, and it's such a good card in the mirror. You're also going to find a Life from the Loam as well, and you are going to find Flusterstorm, which probably won't come in here, but that's a card I love.
Nissa costs 3. Did Nissa cost 3?
No, Nissa was 4. I played.
I thought. Yeah. It was green 2, right?
Green 2. And then Nissa's Chosen cost green.
So, just taking a quick look at Twitter, but now the game's underway. We've got Turn 1 Ponder from Kurt Crane off of Flooded Strand into a tropical island, and he's got the Lorwyn Ponder. That's the Ponder I like.
You like that good?
Yeah,
I
classic.
kind of like the new one actually.
New one's great, but
I'm more of a guy. I like to have the newest edition of every card. I'm not really old school.
Yeah, I kind of depends on the artwork for me, but I do tend to like the old school Ponder. And Eric, Turn 1 Misty Rainforest. He's got double Red Blast, I believe, in his hand, unless he has another white bordered red spell in his deck, which I don't think is the case. He's going to fetch. Goes with the Volcanic Island.
One thing on Kurt's side is that Eric has 4 Stifles in his deck, whereas Kurt has none. So that's something that he's going to have to be careful of.
And there's Delver of Secrets.
A little fetching with Scalding Tarn. Gonna find his red source. Now he has access to all the colors of the rainbow for Rug Delver. And we'll see what his follow-up is going to be. We haven't really gotten a good look at his hand yet. But we see a Nimble Mongoose. And he's just gonna go ahead and pass.
Give me the trash. Delver flips.
Did you catch the reveal?
Did not. I was
okay.
Handing things to Jeremy.
We've got our cleanup crew around us, so if things do get a little loud around us, we do apologize. We are here at Origins in Columbus, and we were actually the last ones in the convention center. Once we get out of here, Origins will actually be finished, but the exhibit hall has been broken down for hours. I'm looking at a room with a bajillion tables, a bajillion chairs, nobody in it.
Yeah, nobody but the Star City crew, pretty much, and these couple players. So Submerge on the Delver of Secrets from Kurt Crane.
So Delver's going to go on top, and what he basically did there is he got him to correct his fetch land.
Mm-hmm. And responds with the Submerge.
Responds with the Submerge, puts the puts the Delver back on top, and now it becomes, do you want that land or do you want that Delver? and he wants that land.
He just drew Delver off the top.
Oh, hold on.
Or are they
He
backing
can't.
up?
He can't cast Submerge because he doesn't have a.
No forest in play?
Yeah.
Oh, no forest, no forest,
Yeah.
no forest. And that's
Okay. Good
that's
catch
a
by the
rough
judge.
mistake, yeah.
Good catch by the judge. Submerge. So now he's going to fetch out his land. It's probably going to affect actually the land that he does get. Oddly enough. And so for you guys at home who are wondering why that wasn't going to be a legal play, Submerge reads: if an opponent controls a forest and you control an island, you may play Submerge without paying its mana cost, and it puts a creature on top of its owner's library. So
there was no forest on Eric's side of the board.
not quite yet. If he does choose to get a tropical island right now, that's going to change, or a taiga.
But at this point, he's not shuffling away Delver.
Yeah, so it's a little less
Appealing,
It's a little less appealing, and it's a little less of a blowout as well.
Especially now that Eric knows the Submerge is there.
The Daze is still on the stack, of course.
Yeah. This was in response to the Daze was the fetch.
Yeah, so the Ponder does get dazed. Okay.
Yeah, he fetches and apparently decides after all that to just let the Ponder get dazed. Doesn't pay, wants to keep that mana open.
Seems like a really good daze to me.
Yeah, actually, I think it was. Except the fact that he accidentally showed Submerge.
Yeah.
But there's a Polluted Delta from Kurt. Gonna crack it.
Kurt's going to search out a tropical island. He's going to shuffle thoroughly, and just so that you guys do know at home, he has 5 cards in the graveyard for Nimble Mongoose, so he is almost a real man. Almost mighty.
Almost a real boy.
Yeah.
Little Pinocchio.
He's going to go ahead and serve with a smile.
Yep. Just one.
Considering his options, I do see a Submerge there.
Yeah, I think we all know the Submerge is there.
Good read, Joey. It's late. I do apologize. There's also a tropical island there as well. And Submerge that you can actually cast.
Yeah. So there's Kurt's list. Where's Eric's list? There it is. Okay.
Yep.
Now one of them only has 1 Submerge in the entire 75. That's Eric.
That's Eric's list. Eric only has 1 Submerge, but he also has 4 Stifles as well. So
Kurt has 4 Submerge in the board.
yes.
And this, at this point, likely all in the deck.
So Submerge on Delver attempted to be Red Elemental Blasted, and he fought back with a Spell Pierce.
Yeah.
Now it's going to get a Daze as well.
Eric draws the Delver again. This time, meets a Daze.
Now Nimble Mongoose.
All by himself.
He's all by himself, loud and proud.
For sure. Misty Rainforest from Kurt.
Taking a look at Kurt's hand, I see
He's just got Fetch Island, or I'm sorry, Fetch Trop.
Trop, yeah. Not a lot of action, but his Nimble Mongoose, I mean, Eric does have a Submerge in his hand, but Nimble Mongoose doesn't really care about Submerge.
Yep. Eric, that's the only Submerge in Eric's deck.
Yeah.
We need to probably start to keep it down because,
Yeah.
like we had mentioned, there's maybe a dozen people in here.
So we're gonna, if you guys want to set the mood lighting, feel free.
Absolutely, we get low.
We do get low. Kurt doesn't have very much action, but obviously Eric doesn't know that. I mean, Eric is aware of both the tropical islands. He doesn't know the 3rd card as well. He does not know the 3rd card, excuse me.
There's Scavenging Ooze from Eric. Resolves.
So Scavenging Ooze is going to be able to control the threshold aspect of Nimble Mongoose, while also, if there's any creatures down there, gain life, get a little bit bigger. That's actually going to do a lot of positive things right now in our board state.
Yeah, and Kurt drew Delver, and there he is casting it. So he swings in with the Mongoose. Eric's, if Eric wanted to block, the best thing he could do was trade the ooze for the Mongoose, because I don't think he had enough. I think he's got more than 8 cards there, Kurt. I mean, much more than 7 cards in his library, so he wasn't going to be able to turn off Threshold.
Correct.
So Eric chooses not to block wisely.
And it looks like Eric is actually going to activate Scavenging Ooze and remove his own card from the graveyard. I think he's reaching for dice right now. Yep.
So Scavenging Ooze grows a little bit bigger. Eric's life total gets a little bit higher.
And he's got a 3/3 versus a Nimble Mongoose, which is also a 3/3, so they fight fairly.
At this point.
At this point.
Not for long. I believe there are other creatures available. I believe. It's tough to tell. So, life from the loam from Eric Rill, and Kurt Crane says, yeah.
He says that's okay.
Go ahead, loam it up.
I actually like the adoption of Life from the Loam in the sideboard of this deck. You know, obviously this deck does have access to 4 Wastelands, but because it plays so few lands, it's nice that once the Wasteland part of the game happens, they're able to recoup the lands that have been destroyed, and then mana is no longer a problem. So he's going to sack a Scalding Tarn, go grab a Volcanic Island to thin things down. And we'll see what his next play is going to be.
Those of you maybe just joining us, I'm Joey Pasco here with Cedric Phillips in the Getting Quieter by the Second convention center here. It's SCG Columbus.
So Delver's actually going to hit the bin, and then he's going to Scavenging Ooze, taking the Delver. And that's just going to make it a 4/4.
Yeah, and bash. Yeah, we're covering the semifinals of the Legacy portion, SCG Columbus, and one of these guys is going to the finals to face Eric Fry and his Mud deck, which has done some impressive things.
It's done some insane things this tournament.
So Mongoose gets in for 3.
And we've had a pretty good look at Kurt's hand. He doesn't have very much action available to him.
Yeah,
and
this is not looking Kurt's way right here. This race does not favor Kurt.
It's funny because Eric cut a Tarmogoyf to be able to fit in the Scavenging Ooze, and right now it's looking genius.
Absolutely. And I've seen, people talking about, Scavenging Ooze over Goyf in some cases, and you can see why. It's got a lot of versatility.
It does so many things in so many matchups. I mean, it
costs the same as a Goyf. It's
Yeah.
often as big as a Goyf, and also, fights Snapcaster, reanimation strategies, all kinds of things. Dredge.
Yeah, it does. It's an insanely versatile card. What's we got here? Tarmogoyf.
So Kurt able to find a second threat. Eric also with a second threat in the form of Delver of Secrets. Kurt with a Tarmogoyf. Tarmogoyf does not need to flip.
It does not
to be
need to
big.
flip.
Delver
Interesting
does.
attack.
So, alright, fetch land cracked from Eric in response to the Nimble Mongoose attack from Kurt.
Okay.
Gets a trop.
Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle.
Taps 3. Looks like he's gonna go ahead and remove as much as possible.
Yeah,
What do you got
gonna,
available?
He's just going to remove
he's
3 random cards very quickly. And it looks like he's
gonna make it so that Mongoose is a little tiny.
He's just going to take the 1 and checking for blackjack.
Looks like it's either not gonna flip or it's something he doesn't want to show Kurt.
He's thinking good and long about this one, actually.
Unless Kurt just said hold up, but it looks like Eric's thinking.
I wonder what that card can be. Oh, okay. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So, that card is 2 Nimble Mongoose. So the top card was Nimble Mongoose, and he decided he didn't really find that to be very helpful. Dredge's Life from the Loam. So he's able to get more lands back, but what also makes that really interesting is by dredging Nimble Mongoose, along with the other Nimble Mongoose in the Delver of Secrets,
he can grow his ooze.
he can grow his ooze.
Yeah. So that's what's going to happen right here. It looks like both guys getting in. Delver does not flip, but it's swinging. Goyf gets in front of the Scavenging Ooze, and Eric now with 5 mana available, but as far as green goes, he's only got 3. he is he's gonna grow his ooze with those nimble mongooses, and that's a 6/6 ooze, a 7/7 ooze.
Scavenging Ooze is dominating this board state.
It is a Thorn Elemental.
Yeah, it is literally dominating this board state to the effect where it's basically come the abyss that is also keeping him alive, shutting down Nimble Mongoose.
It's Tony Maselli, right?
Yeah, it's
Who's
doing
the boss?
It's doing literally
As
everything
Brad
right now.
called it.
Let's see if a Brainstorm can save Kurt. Aha. Submerge.
There's that Submerge. And that's going to be huge if it resolves.
Yeah, it's going to get that 7/7 out of there.
Right now, Eric has Spell Pierce available, so Kurt is going to have to be careful about how much mana he taps. Might want to just go ahead and submerge, well, do nothing and then submerge. You know, just make sure you have some land untapped. Of course,
Just make sure you don't get Spell Pierce. That's all.
that's it. Yeah, that's what I mean. Just play around Spell Pierce, but I don't know if Kurt's thinking about that, but I don't think he has much to spend the mana on anyway, so fairly irrelevant.
So he's thinking some things through here. I mean, he has a Submerge that's going to more than likely take care of the Scavenging Ooze that's causing some serious problems right now. His Nimble Mongoose checking really quickly.
It's definitely thresholded
it
now.
It has Threshold. He also has a fetch land. He also has Submerged to add to the graveyard. So it's going to have Threshold. The question is he going to be able to win the race?
Yeah, because submerging the ooze ensures Delver doesn't flip for another turn.
Very true. Actually missed that interaction, so I'm glad you pointed that out. It does actually make Delver less threatening for a turn.
Yeah, for a turn.
And he's going to sit.
So untap, and there goes Delver flipping, so forget that interaction.
Not only that, but that's...
It's,
yeah, you said hold on, okay. And I was going to say, he can't let him draw that red Elemental Blast, because then that just trumps the Submerge that he does have. I really like the point that you brought up about how Submerge would put Ooze back on top, and then, you know, it blanks Delver for a turn, and it, you know, instead of taking 3, it's going to take 1, puts him to 4, and then it'll reset Ooze as well. And it may have allowed his Nimble Mongoose to get in for 3 points of damage, so...
Yeah, I don't know if Kurt saw that or what, but he's trying to tell him to flip the Delver back? That's not
that's not going to happen.
Yeah, he already revealed the... Yeah.
I think he knows that I think he's seeing the mistake that he made now.
Yeah. So Delver does flip, attacks for 3, and Kurt's going to scoop it up.
Yep. Eric Rill.
Yeah, going to the finals. And, you know, that's the second time I believe we've seen Eric beat Kurt 2-0. Eric very good with Delver. Kurt not having very good luck against Eric, but clearly in the top 8, in the top 4 actually.
Definitely a